Hey everybody, I'm Dan with Topstep, and this is another Funded Trader chat. Today I'm sitting down with Magnum. Yes, that's the real name. It is Magnum. You've probably seen him chiming in on YouTube quite a lot out in Georgia. Magnum, how are you?
Doing well. Doing well. How are you, Dan?
You know what? We've had a really fun conversation so far. I'm really looking forward to this chat with you. Can't thank you enough for sitting down with me. And first thing first, tell everyone where you're sitting and where you trade from, because this is this is something to make note of.
This is the war room. This is the war room. I'm from the I'm sitting in the cab of my tractor. It's a skid steer. I work construction every day. New
Bobcat.
resident construction. Yeah, yeah.
It
It's a
is a
well,
Bobcat.
actually, it's a caterpillar. But
It's a
yeah,
cat. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Right from the cab of it, man.
That's
This is where we get it
outstanding.
all done.
And you're trading right on your cell phone.
Right on my cell phone every day, every single day.
How has that been?
Absolutely.
Have you found looking at a tiny cell phone an issue, or you've gotten so comfortable with it?
I'll be honest with you. It's a lot of it is stemmed from just um it's kind of the only avenue I have, right? So you just kind of make do with the best tool that you got. At the end of the day, that's kind of what it boils down to being. But in my situation, I don't know what I don't know, so therefore, it's not like I'm trading on on a computer or multiple screens and then
Hmm.
have to go to a cell phone. I've always traded on a cell phone, so quite frankly, it's like second nature, right? I just don't know what I don't know in that, so it's rather easy.
That's amazing. We were saying this before. You were thinking about a laptop. Well, you know what? Don't change what's working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm the opposite over here. I've been so bred with multiple screens. If I tried to go to a cell phone, I don't even know where I'd start. So, which products are you trading?
So normally, I'll trade the ES mostly, and occasionally I'll trade the NQ. I map them out both, just depending on which one's moving.
Okay.
Um, but that's typically the two products that I'll trade.
Keeping it simple, staying within the equities. They're both influenced by some of the same things. Reactions to the markets tend to be fairly similar. Obviously, Nasdaq's been a little different lately. It hasn't been the industry leader. It's kind of been the industry laggard a little bit. Have you noticed that the divergence there? Have you noticed the difference when you're trading these?
I have, and really the thing that I've been looking for on. So when I look at this every single day, what I'm looking for is when I set levels, because I'm trading from level to level to level that I set. I'm
Hmm.
just looking at which one has the furthest distance in between levels at the end
Okay,
of the day, and that's kind of determining which one I'm going to trade. But yeah, I have noticed the divergence that both
that's
the NQ and ES
it's
had.
been
It's
interesting. We haven't seen it for the last year.
no, it's usually
Sign
something
that
you'd see within
maybe
the real.
sign that maybe COVID's slowing down and this tech burst is gonna kind of back off a little bit. We're seeing it in a lot of the tech stocks. Um,
Yep.
I like that you're a levels guy. Everyone that's watched me knows I'm a levels guy. I love my levels. I swear by them. What are you looking at to help kind of determine some of your levels?
So every evening when I get in, I'll sit down probably around 9 o'clock. I'll go ahead and take all of my levels away that I had for that day, um, minus the ones that have kind of been untested.
Okay.
And then I'll input new levels in based upon just a volume, just a market profile. So, and I'm just, and I kind of manipulated the market profile in a sense that I can get down to the tick level rather than a
Okay.
zone. I don't really like to trade zones, but more of just levels. And so I'll set my levels about 9 o'clock for the next trading day. And I get up in that morning and I'll make sure that the overnight session didn't go too crazy. And if so, then I'll adjust some of the levels where price maybe had went. And then regular trading hours opens up and I'm ready to rock and roll with those levels. Just very
That's
simple, level to level.
what do they say? The acronym KISS, keep it simple, stupid, right?
Well, on a cell phone, you better, you know.
So you're looking at market profile. What other time frames are you looking at on your charts?
So I normally will go with a daily or a 4 hour to find big structure.
Okay.
Um, and outside of the big structure, that's the only thing I do with those two time frames. And the rest of it, I'm using a 5 minute to do all my market profile stuff. All my levels are attached to that 5 minute, and I'll execute depending on which one I'm trading. I'll execute off of 1 minute on the ES, and I'll execute off of a 30-second or a 1 minute on the NQ. Just
Oh,
there again, level to level. You know,
okay. So you're like, I like that. So are you you're not making trade decision based off the 1 and the 5. You're finding those levels based off your hours, your dailies, and or 4 hour and daily, looking at the market profile, and then strictly just execution right off the lower time frames.
That is it. Yeah. Because if I'm trading off of a level, um, I'm trading in the direction of a trend. So I'm waiting for that level to be broken. And
Okay.
in that retest of that level up to the next level. Right. So that's why I needed to kind of bring that time frame in really, really low. And that way I can always catch that retest. Because sometimes if you're watching a 5 minute and you're executing, you'll never see that retest. But if you're watching a 1 minute, you're going to see that retest.
Okay, I like hearing that because one of my big things is looking at those smaller time frames. Myself, I can't go much lower than 30 minutes because I get caught in the chop. I kind of start to forget about everything else that's happening. Have you ever run into that, or do you go into that chart going, "Here's exactly what my hourly, my daily, my 4 hour looks like, and I'm looking at strictly this for execution." You're not getting caught between the two.
No, the only thing that I'll ever get caught on would just be a level rejection at the end of the day. Um, because I'm literally just trading from a level to another level, and that level could be, say the NQ could be 25 points, could be 30 points, ES maybe 10.
Hmm.
So if we're looking at a 50-point move throughout the day, I took that 50-point move and brought it down to bite-sized pieces with these levels to where I can take 8 points out here, I can take 8 points out there. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
taking that all along the way. So I needed something super mechanical, to trade with, because um, I couldn't suffer the absorption that goes along with that 40-point run. You know what I mean? I want to just take my little pieces and just walk with it, right?
Well, you've obviously listened to risk manager here, Mick Aronimo, who's always saying it's just take chunks out of the move. You don't need to take the whole thing. Just find your little chunk, lock that in, and move on. I mean,
That's
and
it.
that's the way we got to day trade, right? We can't expect to catch everything. It's way too much. If you're looking to catch a 40-point move, you might have 15 or 20 or 25 points of risk in that trade. That's detrimental if you take that loss. It's hard to recover from a loss that big because we're not seeing 40 points on a daily basis that we're going to be able to catch to recover that loss. So I think that's a spectacular mentality. All right. So you've only been with Topstep a little bit. You've been with us since about November of last year. So prior to Topstep, how long were you trading?
About 6 years. About six
Okay.
years. Well, learning how to trade, probably the better way to say it. Yeah. Um, as we discussed, I mean, one of the things that you don't know that you needed until you go through some of the combine stuff, and some of the pro account stuff. It's yeah, you learn a lot. You'll make a good trader better. I mean, at the end of the day, right?
I love hearing that. I think you're spot on. There's a lot of things you don't know until it's kind of pointed out into your face a little bit, or you take that hit, or that you take that loss, and it's like, oh, I get it now. I can't tell you how many times I've talked with someone that, you know, start fresh. A couple months later, I talk to them again, and they're like, "Oh man, now I get why you said that." You take that little bit of loss. How's your
Absolutely.
experience been with Top Step so far?
My experience with Top Step has been nothing but positive. Honestly, nothing but positive. I mean, if there's anything that I took away from this was, um, it's a shame that I didn't know about it sooner. I wish I could have used Top Step to really learn at the very, very beginning. You know what I mean? I just found it way later in life, but I'm glad I did, because at the end of the day, even later on in life, I found there's things that I needed that I didn't know I needed.
Hmm.
And that little bit of risk structure that Top Step, you know, utilizes through the combines and the pro stuff, it's phenomenal. Stuff you'll be able to take with you for years to years to come.
Well, I love hearing that. He was not asked to say that. That was 100% on his own. I really do appreciate that. I've looked through some of your trading too, and I love that you've got good risk management. Your reward is half what your risk is. You kind of keep it tight. You're not sitting in trades for too long. You're not over trading, and you're growing these accounts really nicely. And now you're into that funded level. You got some capital. What are the goals? What are the long-term goals here?
Long term goals are is just keep hustling. Just keep putting my head down, hustle, 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 and until I get to a point to where um, I can pick my spots. Right. I mean, at the
Hmm.
end of the day, it's kind of the way it is. Um, there's just nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's one of them deals where Nothing's broke. Don't fix it. Just keep hustling.
Keep on
Keep going.
hustling. So
That's
we
it.
got a lot of traders going through the combine here. New, been around for years, whatever the case may be. We all know it's kind of a struggle. It's not the easiest thing to do. This is not the easiest industry to get into. What's some advice you have for those that are working their way through the combine?
You always need to be um, trading under leveraged. You know what I mean? And make sure you're overfunded. Um, that's the key to sustainability, because you got to be trading for tomorrow. You can't be trading for right now. You've got to trade for tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. And you can't do that if your risk structure doesn't matter what your risk reward is, because if you don't watch your leveraging and you don't watch your trading and make sure that you're over leveraged and trading under leveraged, or overfunded, excuse me, and trading under leveraged, then you'll find yourself in some trouble. So just no, just because it says you can swing 5 lots, you need to swing maybe 2 micros. That that kind of stuff.
You said the key word there, sustainability. A lot of people, we get into this, and myself included. It's you're thinking dollars. You're thinking, I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be the next Gordon Gecko. You got all these thoughts in your head, Jordan Belfort, whatever you want to say, whatever your mindset is. You think you're gonna get there, but the only way to get there first is to create sustainability. You got to be able to sustain to be successful in this. The big thing is, and I've kind of been saying this for a while, is we've gone from this idea of being a trader to a risk manager. Back in the day on the floor, if you were in the pit, your job was to create that liquidity and fill orders no matter what. Like, that was your job. If you wanted to get the broker to fill you, you had to be a guy they could rely on with anything that came in. And so you had to create that liquidity and then determine what you're going to do with it when it comes in. Now that we get to kind of sit back at home, we don't have someone watching, hey, that guy hasn't picked up my last 6 orders that have come in, or he hasn't quoted me anything. I'm not going to hit him right away. If there's a tie, I'm going to the other guy. Here, you can kind of sit back, be patient, be a sniper with those decisions you want to make. And you can just focus on manage my risk. If I manage my risk, I can continue to do well, sustain, and then create those profits.
That's it.
This
That's
is
it.
awesome. Magnum, I can't thank you enough for sitting down. Any last words of wisdom for those out there listening?
Just watch your risk. Watch your risk. Trade for tomorrow. Don't trade for today. Trade for tomorrow.
We have that on the wall in the office, the big sign that says always trade for tomorrow. I think it's just true. You got to keep that in mind. You can't risk it all today because you don't know what tomorrow might bring. Manage
That's it.
that risk. Be smart with it. As I sit here, I just kind of think of some takeaways that you've said that are really, really pointed out nicely. You've got such a nice routine. The times that you're going to be sitting down to plan and prep, you're focused on a strategy and you know how you're looking at your levels and you're executing based off of that plan. That's what we have to do. Focusing on that risk management, imperative. So we're happy to have you here at Topstep. We're excited that you're in that funded level. You're making some money here. We look forward to seeing you keep moving up on the board there. We'll be watching your name, and we thank you for joining in all of our YouTube stuff. It's been awesome having you in there. So make sure everyone goes and says hello to Magnum. He's in all the videos, every bit of chat we got there. So thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Dan. Have a
My
good one, man.
pleasure. You too.